Good morning. Welcome everybody to Tuesday Tea Time, which is on Friday this week. I had a really busy week and I am just now getting to tea time for those of you who will be joining me and those of you who will see this later. Today we're going to go out and see the mule and the donkey in a few moments, and I wanted to talk about something that I don't talk about very much. While I talk to you, I'm going to go ahead and pick some of the roses that are past their bloom. All the feathers, the leaves just fell off of that. Not feathers, leaves. So, one of the things that the mule and the donkey really like are roses. So I have been deadheading my rose bushes. It feels funny to call them my rose bushes. They're my mother's rose bushes, but they've been left in my care. So I don't usually feed food rewards to my horses. That's not usually part of my pattern. I prefer to leave food available in their environment. I prefer to spend time with them and enjoy their enjoyment as they find food. It doesn't have to do with me. I'm not delivering it to them. I am sharing the experience with them of finding it. That's my preference. I am now in a situation where I've taken on this mule and this donkey for the summer, partially to be companions for my mare Cleo because she lost a lot of herd mates this year and I was worried about her being lonely. And partially because good friends of mine who run a rescue, a little shout out here to Home in Arlington, Washington. This mule and donkey were rescued from an auction and were untouchable. And the rescue put in a good amount of time with them, trying to help them get used to people, enjoy being around people. And they were having trouble. They weren't making a whole lot of headway with these two individuals. They're pretty set in their ways and they're not really sure that they want to be that close to people. But it's really difficult to get, healthcare, vet, farrier, all of those things for our animals if they don't want to be that close to people. Now, if I had tons of time, I could do it without adding food to the relationship. And that's my preference. That's the way I prefer to work. But if I am short on time, then we might want to start thinking about how do we, make this better. My daughter's beautiful garden she got going this year. Thank you, Cam. I am going to take a couple of radishes for the donkey. He really likes radishes. And we're going to go ahead and go out and see Eli and Electra. And I wanted to talk a little bit about if you do want to add food to the relationship, which is not usually what I do, how do you... All right, I'm back. Welcome to Tea Time Part 2. I lost my cell connection there. So I was talking about this idea of sharing food with horses. And I am in here. This is Electra. She's a little mule. And behind her is Eli. He's a donkey. And these two are going to be with me for the summer. And I don't usually add any sort of food rewards in with my training. That's not usually the way I like to train. But for these two, who I don't have long-term, they will be looking for their long-term home as soon as they're a little bit more comfortable with people. We need to speed things up a little bit. And as I say, freedom-based training is the slowest possible way to train a horse. And sometimes that's perfect. Sometimes slow is exactly right. But sometimes we want to do things a little bit faster. And that's when you have to decide, what kind of pressure are you going to add to increase development speed? My specialty is slow. It's always going to be that. That's my favorite way to do things. But today I wanted to talk about the fact that not everybody wants to take the slowest possible road to training. So this tea time is dedicated to talking about food and how we might go about sharing food with our horses to help them maybe develop some new ideas a little faster. So I was just out in the garden and I've picked a whole bucket of roses and some radishes, some things that my donkey and mule friend kind of like. So there's not a whole lot that's more fun than feeding roses to donkeys, I'll tell you that. I don't know if Eli is going to be up for it with me holding my phone out, but we're going to go ahead and see. So, what do you think, Eli? Do you want to come get a rose, or are you pretty happy eating your bamboo? They just got brought into this paddock, so the bamboo shoots are pretty close to the edge of the fence, and they're going to trim them back for me, which is nice because bamboo can really take over. Would you like a rose? Now, this is how I like to work with food and horses. I would prefer that when I offer them food, they have other options, that I am not their only option. Because if I am their only option for food, there's a certain stress about, what do they have to do for me in order to share the thing that I want to share with them. So here, Eli's working on trimming down some bamboo. He's got a big list here. He's got a lot of bamboo to eat. This is my preference. If I'm going to share horses and their food and their time, that not all of it comes through me. Some of it can come through me. Maybe some of the best stuff comes through me. If I want to speed up the progress of training, I definitely want to bring some things to the table that make this relationship worth having. But I shouldn't be the only option. And that's one of the things that I really try and hold to. Even if I want to speed training up a little bit, if they would rather go eat hay or bamboo or grass, that should be an option. And would it be faster if I was the only option of food? Absolutely. They would engage with me much faster. But I don't want to think of this as a black and white on or off situation. This is a spectrum. And there's going to be cycles of emotions and cycles of time and all of this that goes along with the relationship that we're in. I want to spend time with my animals while they do things they enjoy. Eventually, those will be things that I propose. I would like to put a halter on you. I would like to go for a walk. I would like to have the farrier trim your feet. I would like to have the vet take care of you. Would you like a rose? So as you can see, Eli's considering. He has bamboo to eat. He has some grass to eat. I'm offering him a rose. The roses are fairly low value. It's not like I'm offering him cookies. And again, this is how I like to operate if I can. If I am going to be doing something that's particularly difficult for him, absolutely. I will need to develop, a little bit more desire for something. But you want to think about the pros and the cons of that. Okay, when you build a little bit more motivation, you also build a little bit more stress that goes along with it. And I love that he looked at me, he looked at the rose, and then he went back to what he was doing. It was a choice. It was an honest to goodness choice. I know that he loves roses. He eats them all the time. At this moment in time when I'm talking to you guys, I'm holding the phone out. Everything's a little bit weird. he says, I'm going to opt for the thing that feels safer, which is eating the bamboo. And for those of you guys who aren't not familiar with my paddock, I have an island of bamboo in the middle. Everyone told me, don't plant bamboo, it'll take over, it'll go everywhere. But I find when you put it in the middle of a horse paddock, the horses keep the edges nicely trimmed, and then you have a really beautiful centerpiece to your paddock without it taking over. So those are my paddock design ideas. And as you see, the donkey and the mule are quite happy about this. So that's my number one principle, is that when I share food, I really like there to be more than one option. I am an option, but I am not the only option. If they would prefer the food that I am not part of, it's really important that I don't take that personally. This is a voluntary relationship. This is not something where I want to have control of every thought and every emotion. There's a time and a place for that. Some people like that kind of dominance. It's not for everybody. All right, I'm back. My internet again cut out on me, but it seems to be back here again. I'm a little bit closer to Eli now, and he's going to look at my rose. He's going to smell it, and then he's going to eat it. This is, again, no matter what I'm feeding, I really encourage them. I hold it with a closed hand, and I encourage them to smell it first and then to eat it. Okay? This really helps so that they don't mistakenly eat fingers instead of what you're offering them. So he's going to smell it, and then he's going to eat it. If he tries to eat it before he smells it, I'm just going to pull it away really quickly and then offer it him again. I can pull it away as many times as I want. So here he's going to smell it, and then he's going to eat it. This is a pattern that I think is really important for all of our horses. You don't just grab at anything that comes near your mouth. If you grab at it, it's going to go away. So he's going to demonstrate. You smell it, and then you eat it. Roses are particularly good for this because they smell particularly good. If the leaves drop, he's going to pick them up off the ground. And you want to do a little bit more? Okay. So here we go. We're going to demonstrate. We're going to smell it, and then we're going to eat it. This is something I do with all horses when I get to the point where we're sharing food. Okay, it's really important to me that they smell it first, they make sure they know what it is, and then they eat it consciously. If they can't, if they're just grabbing at it, you just pull it away. So here we're gonna go a little bit longer. Okay, so he has to smell it. If he starts to push on it too much, I'm gonna pull it away and offer it again. And then when he's only smelling it, I'll turn my hand over and he can eat it. This is a really simple thing that you can teach any horse. And while I don't feed a lot of food rewards, this is what it looks like. So we're going to hold it. If he pushes too much, I pull it away and I bring it back. Pull it away and bring it back. And I can do this as many times as it takes for him to develop a little bit of patience about it. Okay, there, nope, yes, that's how it works. Developing a little bit of patience about sharing food is gonna save somebody's fingers from getting bitten mistakenly. And this is really important for any horse that leaves me to go live with somebody else, because they are gonna get fed things. I don't like to include it in my training method because it's not the most important thing. Now, this one's going to be a little harder. This is a radish. He really likes radishes. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing, but if he goes to grab it, sorry, my phone rotated the wrong way. Okay, they're very patient. Now we're going to open up the hand and he can go ahead and eat it. Radishes are the best. So those are a few thoughts from me on how to share food. You know, this is my friend Eli the donkey. He will be looking for a home soon. He's only with me for the summer. So if any of you guys know someone who wants a fabulous donkey, he is wonderful. He's a little bit shy. We're going to be working on building his confidence around people and really helping him realize that people are fun to be around. I'm going to go back to roses. Would you like another rose? You smell it first, and then you eat it. Very good. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. This is not a scientific method, but I have found that it's really, really helpful for our equine friends to realize that they have to be a little patient and smell first. Yes, Laurence, they smell the top of my hand, so they know what's hand and what's food. And then when they're being patient, no, that's not patient. You gotta be patient. And you might need to go away and come back. You gotta be patient. Yes. Then I turn it over and they can eat the food that is different from the hand. And that's really the thing they need to know, is they need to know what's food and what's hand. Because sometimes if they get really nervous or stressed or excited about food, they can't tell the difference. What's the hand and what's the food? And so here we're gonna go hand, very good. And then that's the food on top of the hand. So not everybody likes roses, but donkeys are fun that way. There's my hand, good patience. There's the food. I hope you guys enjoyed that slightly off-topic tea time. There's Electra. We're working on this too, but holding the phone and eating things is a little too much for her still. So as you see, Eli is a little bit farther along in his development here. Thank you guys for your time. I hope that was helpful, and hopefully I will be on time and we will have tea time on Tuesday next week, and my week won't run away with me quite the same way it did this week. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and I'll see you next week.